Right, my name is Aidan. I work for Suffolk County Council. I work as head of procurement for the County Council, which, to put it really crudely, I'm in charge of shopping. So I've got a budget of around £500 million, and through that we buy all sorts of things as a County Council, and it's my responsibility to make sure that they're bought, getting good value for money, and then once we have bought them, that we manage the contracts well. How did I get into the role I am now? I cast my mind back to when I was doing A-levels. I did maths, physics and economics, and I was never quite sure what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I was really interested in business, so I thought I'd do a business degree. So I went off to Manchester, to Salford University up in Manchester, and studied business and finance up there. And through that experience, I learned, I've always been quite good with numbers, so I enjoyed that and was good at the financial aspects and the accountancy. But I was never motivated by things such as profit, and I never saw myself as a city slicker or anything like that. It was always, for me, I had strong values about wanting to help people and make a difference to society, and that was really strong and a powerful value for me. So I did an NHS graduate training scheme, and that meant that I was spent 3 years in the NHS training up, getting an accountancy qualification, but also learning how to run the finances of the NHS locally. And that went really well for me. I had a really enjoyable time, but also at the same time I was quite good at it. And I got rapidly promoted, and then when I was 28 I was appointed as a finance director in the NHS, and I was the youngest one in the country at the time. So having spent 13 years in the NHS, I sort of had enough and wanted a change, and I was fortunate to find a job still within Suffolk where I was working, and join the council. So I joined the council about 5-6 years ago, and have been initially started working in finance within the council, and then worked myself into a role which I've got now, which is head of procurement, as I described earlier. So for me, the skills that have given me some success are about good financial skills and numerical skills, but actually having a human side. So being able to bring those numbers alive, but also having the people skills to make a difference with those numbers. What advice would I give to a young person? For me, well, be pushy. Be pushy. I think it's easy and straightforward to sit at your desk and do what you do and then go home and come in the next day and do the same thing. If you want to get on in your career, and for me, if you want to enjoy it, it's about doing what's required of you, but then looking around, what else can you do to help? What else can you make a difference at? And with an organisation such as the NHS or a county council, it's so large, there's so many different opportunities. Actually, you can find out what those different opportunities are and manoeuvre yourself into those roles. And that's, for me, that's what keeps things fresh. That said, I think there's something about learning what you're good at as an individual, and having a go at stuff that you're not good at as well, and you sort of build your experience and understanding of yourself. I think that's really important, to be self-aware. Yes, an Ironman, I'll just quickly tell you about that. So in August this year I competed in Ironman UK up in Bolton, which was quite an experience. It was started off at 6 o'clock in the morning with a 2.4 mile swim, climbed out to the lake and jumped on my bike and cycled 112 miles, and then having done that I put on my running shoes and ran a marathon, which was an amazing experience. It took me just under 13 hours. And for me, that was a combination of 30 weeks of training building up to that. And so it was a really important part of my life this year. And at the same time, I had to balance it with my work commitments, having a demanding and stressful job, and with looking after my family as well. So I had to be really organised, disciplined, and well motivated. I think the working environment across the country, across the economy, is getting tougher and tougher, and increasingly stressful. And personally, as I get more senior and more responsible jobs and there's fewer people around to do them, then there's increased stress. For me, exercise is a great way of managing that stress, and I get a good feeling from exercise, and it puts things in perspective for me. You've got to take, or one has to take, personal responsibility for one's health and well-being, and it's something I take very seriously. So making sure I eat the right things, making sure I get enough sleep, but also making sure that I get enough exercise to be competitive, but also to feel good about myself so I can do a good job.